Good evening everyone, and you're all very welcome here to Cathal Irwin's farm just outside Castlebar. My name is Gabriel Traers. I'm a program advisor with the Future Beef programme. Last year Future Beef was launched by Teagasc. It's a national programme where we have 22 demonstration farms right across the country. And I suppose we have three main objectives in the programme, and it's to make farms more profitable and more efficient. It's to be aware of the environmental challenges that are there. As we know, we have a 25% target to reduce our greenhouse gas emissions, and it's to match the farming system to reduce those emissions going forward, and also to get the messages that we learn on those farms out onto other farms like yourselves. And Cathal is a willing participant of that programme, and today we'll be talking about breeding. And when you look at efficiency and profitability on farms, breeding is always front and centre. So today is all about learning about how we can be better at breeding, improving our genetic merit of the suckler herd, what replacement strategies we should be using going forward, and also the SCEP scheme is going to be covered as well, and that's an important source of income for a lot of farms, so we'll be covering that as well as part of the day. So we hope you enjoy your evening.
So my name is Liam Quinn. I'm based in the Teagasc office in Westport, and I'd like to just welcome you all here this evening. So I'm joined with Cathal Irwin, who's the future beef farmer here in Ballyheane, County Mayo, and we're just going to look at the farm overview and some of the breeding KPIs on the farm. So first of all there, Cathal, 20.33 hectares owned in 3 blocks, so the farm is fragmented. How are you managing that?
Well, thanks Liam. Look, it's a fragmented farm. It's a typical West of Ireland farm. We have I suppose, we have 3 blocks. We have a grazing platform of about 20 acres, and we have a silage platform of about 15 acres, and we have about 10 acres of just open bog. Again, we try and grow grass on as best we can, and we just have to work with what we have. It's, as I say, a typical West of Ireland small farm.
All the farm is in permanent grassland. I know there's a lot of reseeding done on the farm. Could you just give us some figures on that, I suppose, and how you're managing your grass?
So there's, as I say, I've roughly like 45-50 acres roughly thereabouts, but I think I've left about 5 acres of ground left to reseed. I typically reseed in the autumn of the year because I have a lot of grass pressure here in spring, and it just doesn't suit the system that I have to go reseeding ground early in spring. I just don't have enough ground basically. So it's a grass-based farm, as I said. I'm measuring grass for probably since about 2017, I'd say, and I find that sort of really pivotal to me as how I farm, because it's the information that I get on, like even now I'm going back and I'm looking at, let's say, last year's growth, the year before growth, at this time last year, maybe in 22, 21, 20, and saying, right, what was my kgs of grass I was growing at this point, and I'm trying to make decisions on how to go forward,
Yeah. So, like a lot of farms at the minute, probably under pressure trying to get cattle out. How are you finding that or managing it?
Same as everyone.
Yeah.
Like last year we had cattle out, I think by Paddy's Day, everything was out and remained out. Okay, I might have had to feed, I think, 10 bales after that, maybe out on the land, because I ran into a pinch once or twice. But it's the first week in April now, and I've nothing out. And realistically, they're going to be in for, I'd say, another 7 to 10 days. That's it.
Okay.
We're going to roll with it. That's it. We've no choice.
So you have 18 spring calving suckler cows, and you're selling as forward stores. Can you just tell us a bit about the system you're running here and maybe what you plan?
So when I took over the farm from my dad in 2015, we were mainly doing forward stores. I was trying to calf the cows down as early as possible, let's say early December calving. So I wanted a 4 or 5 month old calf hitting the grass in April, and so he could do as much, or she could do as much over that first summer at grass as possible, and again a good second summer at grass. What I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to finish everything as opposed to selling stores. So I switched to, let's say, under 16-month bulls. It's my first year doing it. So far, I know it's an exceptional year in beef prices, but I have to say I'm happy with it. And I'm trying to get, let's say, the heifers. I'm hoping to be able to slaughter the heifers in the next year or two before the second winter. That's where I'm trying to get to be honest with you.
And the breeding plan then, so you're using a terminal Shirley bull, but you're also using AI and some sex semen.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I say, I mainly have cemental cows. I'm putting a terminal Charlie bull on, not an extreme Charlie bull by any standards. He's around 3-4% calving difficulty. He's about minus 3.5 days gestation, which I found has been really important this year. I'm also then using sex semen because I'm trying to breed my own replacements. I find nothing beats your own animals because you know fertility, you know milk, you know docility, you know feet. You have so much information. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to get, I might be using synchronization or I might be using PRIDs, things like that, and I'm using sex semen and I'm trying to get them AI'd before they go to grass.
Perfect. So look at, just to have a look at some of the KPIs, the breeding KPIs in the farm here. So calves per cow per year on your farm 0.92, so the national average is 0.87. So really what that means is if you had 100 cows, 87 live calves per cow. So if you had the same breeding performance on this farm, it would be 92 live calves if you had 100 cows. Calving interval then 376 days, and the national average is 393. So you know, there's improvements to be made there,
Yeah,
but overall not too bad at all. Mortality then at 28 days, 0% on this farm. The national average 2.07. Have you any comment on mortality? I know it was higher in the past.
It was higher in the past. Look, number one thing I think in calf and cows is luck. A bit of good luck, and then you know as good a management as you can put in place. The bull that I've selected this year I found has been super. You know, he's an easy calving bull. He's got a short gestation, and like the main thing that I found, he's dropping the calves pretty much bang on their date, which has been brilliant. You know, because you know nothing worse than a cow carries time, and you know you end up with this big calf and big pulls. No one wants it. You know,
absolutely not. 6-week calving rate at 72%. So look what you're looking for in the region of 55 to 62%. I know that was higher in the past as well.
Yeah.
Can you just talk to us maybe a little bit about the importance of having, you know, such tight calving?
Well, as I say, it is a little bit stretched. What I found is, let's say my cows are calving down typically a little bit earlier, maybe in September. They, you know, or not September, in December, January in the past, January at the moment. You know, they have come March time when, let's say, the breeding season, March, April, when the breeding season would start. You know, the cows have a lot of draw on them, and sometimes that can stretch. You know, they're slower to go back in calf because they're just not cycling. So I'm trying to, let's say, push closer to grass, maybe calf them a little bit later. Yeah, you know, that's sort of my goal really, to be honest.
That's great. And calving heifers at 22 to 26 months, low on this farm. The national average is 24%. Was higher previously as well.
It was higher. Like you know, we've 20 cows in the farm. As I said, like there's probably 3 cows that were calved over 30 months. Everything is typically calved, you know, 26 to 28 months. Just
slightly outside the bracket.
Slightly outside the bracket, but that's what we've always done.
Okay, and just some sale details from the farm here from 2022. So, excuse me, males at 17 months of age. The 534 kgs when they were sold, and 259 per kilo got for them. So look at, on average, a kilo a day gained over their lifetime, which is good performance. Heifers in as well at 20 months, 616 kilos. So again, we're talking about just slightly over the kilo per day, and 283 per kilo got for them. So just how exactly was that weight achieved on farm?
Grass, to be honest. Grass and good maternal cows, and probably good genetics on the terminal side. But grass, it's not true nuts.
Yeah.
Try and get them out as early as I can. Try and grow the best grass I can as cheaply as possible, and get as much weight on and as much milk into the calf as possible.
That's perfect. So thanks very much.